I'm gonna start, this one. The oldest book on your TBR. Okay, you see me a bit weird, but you can see the shelf like that. The Switch is very old. The Switch. This one I got on Facebook Marketplace quite a long time ago.
And here starts the journey of me trying to read the book. I set a timer, went there with good intentions, and this is the very beginning. I wasn't mad about it. I liked the initial idea of the grandma and the granddaughter switching houses, completely changing realities and changing their environment to experiment with what they wanted from life and to get out of their normal routine. I could see a bit where the story was going, but everything summed up, I quite enjoyed it and I wanted to go on. But then this happened. School got in the way pretty quickly and I fell into the worst reading slump I've probably experienced so far. It was an ever-ending thing, something that I couldn't get over for the longest time, and now it is currently June and I am finally over the reading slump and finally making progress. This book was finished before that, but I had stopped dealing with YouTube for the longest time as well, so it was an ensemble of things that weren't going for me. I was really stuck in every sense of the word.
Okay guys, I have been struggling quite a lot to finish this book. We are in March, very later on in the month, and I still am halfway through the book. And this is bugging me to a degree that you cannot even imagine. So I am going to set aside the next half an hour to get through a bit more of this book. I will try to read as much as I can, then I will delve into other things, but I desperately want to finish this one. I really want to post a review about it, and I really want to go on with the challenge that I've been so bad at, so let's do it together.
And this was one of the last, but by no means the very last time that I read the book. As you can see, I had more than halfway through to go by this point, but graciously I finished it on the 27th of March according to my Goodreads, which means that I took exactly 3 months minus 1 day, because I started it on the 28th of January and I finished it in March. It was absolutely insane. I wasn't able to read anything in February, which is incredibly embarrassing for me, but you know, you have to accept you have ups and downs. I think last year February was one of my best months of reading. This year it was one of my worst, so it just depends on the year, what's happening in my life and everything like that. But overall I have to say that I was glad that I dedicated time to this book and I was glad to finish it.
Done with the book. The evening that I showed you that I started reading, I read for ages and I left basically 2 or 3 chapters off of the end of the book because most of the things had been unveiled and I kind of knew what was happening overall. So I left the last 2 chapters, and today I read the last 2 chapters, and today is the day after, and we are on the 27th of March and this is done. I'm very glad that I read this book. Overall, I think I might have been in a massive slump, which was something that was going on for a while, so I'm not blaming the book that much for the fact that I couldn't finish it. It was an interesting story. It was this story about the granddaughter and the grandma switching houses, and the grandma lives in this village in England that is small, very communal, and the granddaughter lives in London. They switch places, and the grandma goes into a dating adventure at 70 plus. and the granddaughter goes into basically not having to deal with work for a while because she's super stressed, so she get laid off for 2 months, and she goes into the village and organizes things, gets to know the community, and it's a heartwarming story. The granddaughter also has had a sister die of cancer, and that caused her to get into the work mentality, straining her relationship with her mother. The novel explores all of this, and I found that very heartwarming because for how tragic this is, it's very true that dealing with feelings and experiencing feelings, and for how hard they might be, going through them is much healthier than keeping them stored in one place, building up resentment, building up the sadness and everything, and straining our relationship, because that doesn't go away. It's always there for us to feel it in our body, because the body feels a lot of the feelings that we don't express. So I definitely liked this. And there are some pet peeves, things that I didn't love, and therefore I didn't give it 5 stars, but I gave it 4. Because at the beginning, where the grandma makes the dating, she says that one person cannot be fun because they're Christian, which is not true. So that I found a bit superficial, but there is a lot of superficiality in here. The friendships are very deep, but they are based on silly things, so I do understand the reason for that. The male interest of our granddaughter was a nightmare. I couldn't stand him, and of course at the end there's a good resolution out of all of that, but it made me relive unhappy moments, and I know that that's useful for many people, but it made me not love that. But I loved the progression of the story and the direction it went into, and I do love those stories where there is this conscious effort to listen to what your body tells you, listen to what makes you happy, instead of listening to what society tells you should make you happy, which is something that in today's day and age is very hard not to fall into, the what society tells me I should do vs what I know that I should do. So overall, would I suggest this one? Yes, I would say it's a light read that people could enjoy as something that teaches nice lessons but is not super heavily involved. I found that the going through grief of a sister slash sibling could be something that if you're going through that, you could definitely pick this book up and it could help you. It can also annoy you, so technically I just put the warning out. You might not want to deal with that if you're dealing with grief and all of those feelings, so just be aware of that. I still love the cover. This cover is the only reason why I won't give away this book because I just love it. It's just so fun and cute.
Let me interrupt me right here because it was embarrassing. I loved the cover and then gave away the book regardless because I wanted to get other books in Little Free Library. So don't listen to me.
Here at the back of the book there is the road trip that is another Beth O'Leary's story. I've read a part of the extract and it feels to me like it's a much younger protagonist because they go into it with basically a car accident and they interject with this person that one of our main protagonists has been very attracted by for a long time, and they have to share a car, and that complicates things. But I think that whenever I will be in the mood for something easy, I will pick it up because I really enjoyed this book. And book 1 of our challenge is done. I'm so happy that I've been able to do it. So let's pick up, as a reminder, book 2 of the challenge, the one that I got for February, even though it's end of March. Here it is. I'm very excited to start it. This one is A Name in History by Hilary Baptiste. She is an ex-student of my current university. I've seen an event with her when the book came out, and I really liked the extract that she read because I thought that the description was incredible. So this one is a book by a debut author. I'm so glad that this book is over. Sometimes forcing yourself to do the things is not that bad of a tactic, because you might just need that little push to get into it, because then you might really enjoy it and just go through without effort. Whereas if you keep postponing it, it's gonna be much harder to actually complete the tasks you told yourself you were gonna complete. So let's get into this new book and let's get into February.